Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Inside Bethel Basketball. Alongside Bethel coach Mike Lightfoot, I'm Chuck Freeby. Last Saturday at the Y-Camp Center, the Pilots picked up their 20th win of the season, and based on that win, they vaulted to #1 in the national rankings. Congratulations, Coach. I know the rest of the week a little topsy-turvy, but still, to have that #1 next to your name in the polls has to be a great feeling.
Well, it's a feeling that you're going to be the hunted. You've got a bigger target on your back right now. Everybody's going to play their best. Everybody, the fans are going to come out and support the visiting teams, and we know that's going to happen. But it is a great honor because where we were 3 years ago to where we're at now, that's represents a lot of hard work from our kids.
And from where you were 3 years ago to get to the 20-win plateau in any season is a special thing. That certainly was the case last Saturday against Taylor. And as we look at the highlights of the game that we showed here on TV 46, first half was a bit of a struggle for the Pilots, but it often is when you take on Paul Patterson and that Trojan system.
Well, they do a great job of spacing out on the floor, creating situations where, you know, you're going to have to really defend for a long period of time. And you have to be patient defensively, and you have to be patient offensively. But, you know, I thought we did some really good things. Even though we weren't scoring early, I thought we had some good looks inside, and we played pretty consistent, basketball. Then as the second half went along here, you've seen some very good passing, interior passing, where we got high percentage shots, and we're able to get, good looks and continue to kind of build on our lead. Here's a great pass from Tyler inside to Ryan, a three-point play, and here's William going to the basket, and kicking it back out, and there's Wes knocking in the jump shot. So we were more consistent, I thought, in the second half, but one thing that we really brought to the table, especially the second half, was our defensive effort.
No question about it. The loose balls that were getting away from you in the first half, you started to get on the floor and I think we see in this sequence, too, not only the good internal passing, here's a nice slashing move by Tyler Brown. He shows persistence to get the rebound, but a couple of times we've seen the ball go into Big Will Walker. He gets double-teamed, kicks it back outside. Really, he can be a focal point of your offense even when he's not scoring.
Exactly, and that was a game where, Will did not score a double like he has been most of the time, but we were able to do a lot of other things, and I thought those two guys, William Walker and Tyler Brown, played their best defense of the season.
62-46 before nearly 2,500 fans. A great crowd inside the Gates Gymnasium for that one. Tyler Brown with perhaps his best game of the season as he scores 18 points with 8 rebounds and plays terrific defense. Ryan Lightfoot, 13 points and 5 assists. And as we mentioned, after the game, Bethel moves up to #1 thanks to a loss to Oregon Tech, or thanks to a loss by Oregon Tech last week. But one of the things that's been a hallmark of this Bethel program, under Homer Drew, under Mike Lightfoot, players who play with passion and pride. And I don't think anybody embellishes that when they talk about Kory Lantz. Here's a young man that does that, and you're going to get a chance to meet him next as we go inside Bethel Basketball. One of the great things for me about covering Bethel basketball is I get to follow players that I got to follow in high school. I met Kory Lantz during his senior year at Wawasee when he was a quarterback on the football team there and also a stellar guard on the basketball team, guiding them both to tournament success. I was impressed with him then, and as I've gotten to know him a little bit better over the last 4 years, I'm still impressed somehow. Kory, congratulations on 4 great years at Bethel, and welcome to the show. What prompted you to want to go to Bethel College?
When I was choosing a school, I looked at 3 things. I looked at the academics, the spiritual side, and the athletics. Probably not in that order. I was looking more for the basketball first, and that drew me up, obviously, to Bethel because of the history they have there and Coach Lightfoot and the program that's come about. And then the other thing was just the spiritual side. And I wanted to go to a Christian school. I wanted to be around people where I could grow. And I knew that I could get that both in the classroom, at chapel, but also on the basketball team. So that's kind of why I chose Bethel.
And you chose him as well. You were after him in hot pursuit, and there were a lot of other people after him, including schools at the Division II and Division III level.
Well, the thing about it, Kory brings to the table more than just being an athlete, a student athlete. He does so many other things on our campus and makes an impact on people's lives that maybe you don't know about or people we don't experience. So he's a quality individual and has made a tremendous impact and legacy on our program.
Now that you've been a part of this program for 4 years, Kory, and it was a struggle in that first year when you came as a freshman, talk about your development, first of all, as a basketball player.
Yeah, that first year obviously is one that I like to forget, but at the same time I like to remember it because it's really helped me understand where I'm at now and just to see the the way I've grown over those 4 years and stuff. And as a basketball player, I just feel like I just feel more comfortable with the game. It's slowed down a lot. I feel like I know how to help my teammates get better. I feel like I know how to lead them, and that's just been the biggest part, just really understanding the game better, a lot better at the college level. The
funny thing is, Mike, here's a young man that was the second leading scorer in his school's history in high school, and you've made a defensive stalwart out.
Well, the thing about it, he has bought into doing that. He knows what it takes for our team to be successful and for us to win, and so it takes a special individual to do that. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it's all about points, or it's all about stats, and Kory, it's all about W's, it's all about effort, and so that becomes contagious for our team to see how hard he works and how he gives of himself so the teams can have success.
Now, your major is sports management, but your minor is missions, and you've been involved in missions trips since when you were in high school. Talk about some of the places you've been and some of the things you've done.
Yeah, I've been to Ecuador and Brazil on separate occasions doing basketball missions work, and I've also been to Peru and Dominican Republic doing just missions with my church. And I'm going to Mexico actually this summer. I'm leading a group of high school kids, so I'm going to be on the other end of things. Normally I'm going as a participant, now I'm actually leading them. So I hope their parents don't watch right now because they may be kind of scared that I'm saying this. But it's going to be crazy having 20 kids that I'm in charge of and that I get to really invest in and really pour into their lives. So I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Now, I saw your sister at the game on Saturday. She's a student at Taylor. She goes on mission trips as well. Where did that influence come from to take these trips?
I think it came from both my parents, but also Napanee Missionary Church. They put a high emphasis on missions, and their youth programs have great mission trips. And so I think we got involved in that in high school at a young age, and we kind of followed my brother's lead because he started doing them, and then I started doing it in Kalen as well. So we've all just have a heart for people that are in need, I guess, and you find those type of people overseas a lot of the time. Not saying they're not here as well, but
sure. Nobody knows what the future holds for any of the athletes that go through the Bethel program, but Mike, where do you expect to see this guy in 5 years?
Well, I see that he's going to really have an opportunity to make an impact on people's lives, no matter what he does. And, you know, we talk about success or significance. And the thing that Kory's going to do is he's going to bring significance in his life and impact other people because he cares. He's going to invest in them. He's going to look to make their life a better place by his investment.
Before you go, though, you've made quite an investment in this basketball team, and I know you have some things you want to accomplish, can accomplish. The question is, how far will this team go this year?
I'm really worried about Grace this Saturday. That's all I'm thinking about, honestly. We know that we have to win every game in the conference to get to where we want to be, and that's Branson, and ultimately win a national championship. But that's so far down the road right now as far as I'm concerned. It's starting to really hit me right now, that knowing I'm a senior and I have just a few games left. So I just want to do everything I can every game. That's all I think about going into the game is how can I give everything I got for this game and just help our team win. So.
And clearly, based on your shaving, you're a young man that bleeds for Bethel College. So best of luck to you in the future, Kory, and thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, Chuck.